Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is my February wrap-up. The first book I finished this month was 84 Charing Cross Road by Helena Hanff, which I accidentally spoke about in my January wrap-up video, so I'm just going to leave that there. That was easy. The next book I read was my February poll winner. So every month I random generate 4 books from my TBR, put them on Instagram, and then let my followers choose which one of those 4 books I'm going to read that month. And the winner this month was Dear Mrs. Bird by AJ Pierce, which is a historical fiction about a young woman called Emmeline who lives in London during the Second World War, and it's her dream to be a war correspondent. And she finds this job advert for a job and she thinks it's a perfect opportunity for her to head in that direction of becoming a war correspondent. But it turns out to be quite different than what she thought. It was miscommunicated in the advert, and she ends up working as a typist for a women's magazine. So the book kind of follows Emmeline, or Emmy, trying to navigate this and work this job into something that she actually enjoys and feels passionate about. So obviously her work is quite a big part of the novel, but it also focuses quite a lot on her personal life, and there are big themes of friendship, loyalty, loss in various different ways, and morals. Emmy is always trying to do the right thing, but she's often like pulled in a lot of different directions about what the right thing actually is. And I really enjoyed this. I really enjoy a war-based book, whether that be fiction or a memoir. I also really enjoy war-related memoirs, and yeah, this was no exception. I really enjoyed this, and I gave it 4 stars. Is that everything I wanted to say? Yeah, I really rooted for Emmy and I wanted the best for her, even though I didn't always agree with her perspectives. I really liked her as a person. Next, I read my TBR jar prompt book. So in addition to the poll, I also pull a prompt out of my TBR jar every month and read a book that links to that prompt. So the prompt I had this month was a book by an author whose work I've not read before, and I chose Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin. And again, I really enjoyed this one. So the story follows Sadie and Sam, who meet when they're kids and they bond over video games, fall out, and then meet again by chance a few years later and rebond again over video games, and then decide to create a video game together. And it spans several decades of their friendship, following lots of different kind of avenues of their relationship and their work together. This book is so cleverly written. It's a masterpiece in terms of the writing. I didn't love the plot, like I really enjoyed it, but I wasn't like wow. But the writing and the like craftsmanship, or craftspersonship I would prefer to say, was just so impressive. Like, she's obviously, Gabrielle Zevin is very clearly an extremely talented author. I was reading it thinking, oh god, that's so clever, that's so smart the way she's done that, and it seemed like she'd put so much thought into it, but at the same time it felt completely effortless, and like she's a complete natural at writing, and it was just really fantastic. I found this book a great sense of escapism this month. I've had a tricky few weeks, and some days I've got home from work and just opened it and not stopped. I've really enjoyed just getting lost in it, which I don't find in books that often, so that was really nice for me. I just was really into it. I think I'd still only rate it 3.75. I think I'm pulled to rate it higher just because of all the hype surrounding it, but if I'm being truthful to myself, I think it probably is around the 3.75 mark, despite everything I said about how fantastically it's written. It was astonishing the way the writing was put together, and the whole novel just fitted together. Little things that came up on one page that didn't seem important, and then it would come up pages and pages later, like years later in story, and it was like wow. that's so smart. And I really enjoyed that aspect of it, but I don't know. For whatever reason, my mind is like 3.75 stars. So that's what I'm going with. I'm trusting my instincts. And then I decided to move on to something completely different, which was My Animals and Other Family by Clare Balding. So this is a memoir by Clare Balding, the celebrity. Not someone I'm particularly interested in, but my grandma gave me this book and she enjoyed it, and I do really enjoy a memoir, so I thought I'd give it a go anyway, despite not knowing a lot about Clare Balding and not being a huge follower of hers. It's all told through her experience of animals. That's kind of her thing, and that's the way she expresses herself. And like she knows periods of time by who won the horse races that year, and like that kind of thing. Like her life just is animals, which I just can't relate to. You know, I have a few pets whom I absolutely love, but I have never been a horse person and I probably never will. And so I read the first couple of chapters and it was just all about horses. It was just whew, straight over my head. I didn't know what was going on and I was not interested. I'm interested in the story of her life, but not when it's told solely through animals and animal experiences. So this was a DNF for me after a couple of chapters. I did enjoy looking through the pictures though. Okay. So that's my month of reading for February. Thank you for watching. Sweet.